Well, hey guys, I'm back once again, doing a little something different today. I know, whoa, something different. Oh my god. Well, yes. Oop. I'm trying to angle that camera so you're not just staring at my leg. Oh, come on. There we go. What am I talking about today? Well, I'm talking about a different topic than we have actually discussed here on Riley's 2 Cents. And we're discussing what is currently wrong with the revolver market. How come you cannot get a high quality revolver at an affordable price anymore? You know, I feel like the only person that's making high quality revolvers as far as any major company goes that isn't, Korth or maybe Dan Wesson, which are a bit prohibitively expensive for the average person, if I say so myself. Basically, the only people out there making a decently midly affordable revolver would be Ruger, and even then Rugers are still pretty expensive. Rugers are about $1,100 on the new end for anything that isn't like a 22. And don't get me wrong, I like the Ruger Wrangler. I love their 22 stuff. It's of great quality, as with basically most of Ruger's products, of great quality. However, they are expensive. Look at the Red Hawk. The Red Hawk retails new these days for like $11.50 for a 44 mag revolver. I mean, that's not that bad, but that's still a lot of money. The Ruger GP100 between like $750 to $900. Again, not terrible, but still a lot of money. Certainly nothing to sneeze at. Whereas, shoot, look at Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson just came out with the new Model 19 No Lock, which is just a retro version of their old Model 19, made to modern standards, of course. And I was looking at it, I'm like, that's really cool. I want another Smith 357. I actually have one of their Model 28-2 Highway Patrolmans I picked up used, which was really cool. Really cool little revolver. Got that for like $600. Good deal. Thing is very much in good shape. Anyway, one of these days, so I will promise you, since this is the first bit of gun content you're seeing out of this channel, I promise you will get to see me shoot and review some of my guns and talk about them a little more in depth. But that'll probably have to wait until summertime because it's still pretty cold and it's hit or miss whether I can get on the range. There's an outdoor range near me, but it's hit or miss whether I can actually get on it with the inclement weather. More often than not, I can't. And it's been pretty rainy and cold, and I can't make them let me use it. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. Smith & Wesson's new Model 19 No Lock excuse me, is about $1,400. And don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful revolver and it's very well made and everything, but then at the same time it isn't, because I've heard it's only been out for a couple months and it's already having major quality control issues from what I've heard. Issues with cylinder lockup being bad, timing being off out of the factory, just stuff like that. And that worries me, It's like, to me growing up, Smith & Wesson was always the king of the ring when it came to revolvers. And now it's like they're just not what they used to be, I guess. And then you look at someone like Taurus. Taurus had really good quality control in the mid 80s through the early 90s, and then in the 2000s, it just dipped like crazy. But then nowadays, I've heard the quality control is really hit or miss. Sometimes they're perfect, other times they're a disaster. And apparently Taurus's customer service has some issues, which is a shame, because I would probably consider Taurus. I think for the money, you can get a lot more bang for your buck. But at the same time, it's like, do you take that risk on getting something that's not so good and not going to be of a certain quality that you're still dropping $400-500? You need the thing to work. You can't just buy it and look at it, and then you have smaller revolver offerings, things from like Rock Island Arsenal, and I think some Turkish companies are making some revolvers, and I want to say that what is it called? Yeah, Kimber makes a revolver, the R6S or whatever, which, I mean, I don't know if that's really worth it. That's like a $900 revolver, which, it appeals to me in the sense that it looks really cool, but is Kimber's quality as good as it was 20 years ago? By all intent and purposes and everything I've heard, it's not. And it's like, if I'm going to drop $1,000 on a gun, I don't want to be, hoodwinked and end up with something that's going to need a bunch of repairs, or it has major problems, or this, that, and the other thing. It's like, I can't, I'm not the type of guy to want to spend a bunch of money for nothing and then be stuck going through the rigmarole of trying to deal with customer service and getting things repaired and fixed. It's a lot of headache. I want something that will work right out of the factory, at least for a year or two without major issues. Not something I'm going to have to worry first 100 rounds I'm going to start having problems, which, to me is not acceptable in this day and age. You can't sell a product that has, especially a product that's made in America, that has issues within the first 100 rounds of use, especially if you're not shooting super hot loads in it. And I mean, if you're shooting like a gun that's not rated to handle buffalo bore, and it's having problems because you decided to do that, that's on you. But if you're shooting regular target loads or standard self-defense loads, and it's not something crazy hot, it's not Bubba's super spicy, whatever, well, there's no reason that you should be having issues like that. Not really, at least. So, I think, to me at least, I think your best options for revolvers right now is the used market. Either buying older Smith & Wessons, 60s, 70s, 80s, or buying newer used Rugers. And I think that's like your best bet as far as quality revolvers, because I feel like companies these days don't want to focus on making a high quality revolver. And don't get me wrong, I didn't even mention them yet. Colt makes some really nice revolvers. The Grizzly, the Kodiak, the Python again. But there's so much money. It's like you're dropping $1,800 on a 357 Python. And it's like, that's great. Now it's so expensive I don't want to shoot it. It's like, I would like to see the return of high quality $400-500 like high quality revolvers, and in a variety of calibers too. You know, I've considered buying a 9mm revolver just for, fun in the, basically just keep practicing my revolver stuff on the cheap, because I do like shooting revolvers. I just don't like that Red Hawk I have, for example. Don't like spending $45-50 on a round of target ammo for that, because it's expensive. And I mean, of course, it's a 44 mag. What do you expect? But but I mean, I like shooting 357. I like shooting 38 special. I'll shoot anything. I like shooting 22. It doesn't matter to me. I just like shooting. I enjoy the hobby, But to me, at least, in my opinion, I think that a lot of companies aren't willing to make high-quality revolvers anymore. And I stick by what I said. I think Ruger's the only one doing it. And I don't know how long, how long can they stay profitable, because their big market share is of the older demographic, of the baby boomers. And it's true. People don't want to admit that, but it's true. And it's like, what happens when you don't have enough products that cater to the younger demographic? Are they going to continue to buy your other products and keep you afloat, or are you going to have problems? I mean, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Anyways, guys, that's just my little rant today. And definitely my little 2 cents on revolvers, because I really like revolvers. I think revolvers are a lot of fun. I think they're a smart gun to carry, especially if you're a very practiced shooter. And I like revolvers. Don't get me wrong, I like semi-autos too. I like everything. But I do have a soft spot for revolvers. First gun I ever shot was a revolver, so with good reason. But hopefully you'll start seeing companies come in, innovate, make more affordable firearms, or revolvers, I should say. But yeah, guys, that's just my 2 cents. We'll see y'all in the very near future.